I'm Chris Affleck and I am the Hub Coordinator for the County Durham Time to Change Hub. So I think Time to Talk Day gives us a focus, it brings partners together, it's a reminder in terms of why we're doing what we're doing. I think it's also an opportunity for different organisations, different services to kind of celebrate what they do. So for example, from a children's rights perspective, we can look at a focus around children and young people. Our other sort of partners within the voluntary community sector and within the local authority again can target employers, can target social community groups. So it's just a way to kind of bring people together, celebrate good practice as well. There's some really positive things going on within our local area, and it's about sharing those resources and hopefully enabling other communities, employers, young people's organisations to go out and then deliver it within the area that they're from. So for the last couple of years we have a steering group, a partnership steering group, so we kind of start after World Mental Health Day, start having conversations in terms of what we can do for Time to Talk Day. I know a couple of years ago we did Time to Talk, Time to Walk, which we did a series of walking events around the county, so it was about promoting the positive benefits physical exercise has on your mental health, but again an informal way of being able to have a conversation. So that took quite a bit of planning. This time around, because I think there was more awareness, there was more going on, we kind of spent more time looking at what else was happening, so where we could plug the gaps as opposed to us doing everything. It was about really, well, what's everybody else doing? How can we celebrate that? How can we promote what they're doing? And then what can we do to add value? So I think this year we were a little bit more flexible, maybe a little bit more creative, as opposed to taking on the ownership and saying, well, we're the hub, we have to do it. It's not, how can we enable others to do it, and how can we share what really good things are going on. For Time to Talk Day, there was a number of partners involved, and it was about kind of looking at what each partner was doing in each geographical area within County Durham, because it's a very vast, diverse sort of community. And it was each partner sort of brought different things to the table. For us, we were quite specific in terms of stamping out our localised campaign. We'd identified a specific geographical area which we hadn't done much work in, so we wanted to focus on that area. That was an area in the Dales, and do very focused work in terms of on the street public engagement, as well as workshops with education providers and colleges and youth provision. But some of our other partners, they wanted to kind of have a really informal approach and open it up to sort of the general public, so do coffee mornings, coffee afternoons, where anyone could just kind of pop in and have a conversation. So it was really about kind of looking at what was out there, where the gaps were, and we were quite successful that we managed to cover sort of quite a vast area within County Durham by kind of mapping what all the other different services were doing. I work for a children's rights organisation, so our focus was really to try to engage with children and young people. So we've got some good relationships with schools and with youth services, so we took some of our toolkit, our resources along to do activities. We've developed a board game, so we will play the board game with young people again, using real lived experience in terms of the challenges within that board game. We did quizzes, again just a really informal way of using statistics around the 1 in 4 people at any time, around statistics around children and young people's mental health and stigma and discrimination. And we played a pass the parcel game. So the pass the parcel game, within each layer there's a different conversation starter, and as we played the game we played the song that was number 1 at the time, Ava Max, Sweet But a Psycho, and they were all singing and dancing and going along, and actually at the end of that game we were have a conversation about the word psycho. What does that word mean to you? And we talked about sort of how negative and how it's misused, and actually the young people didn't know, they weren't aware. So actually it not only sort of raised awareness and different conversation starters, it made them think about the words that they use and the effect that has on somebody. So it was just a quite interesting and innovative way of starting a conversation with young people. One of our partners, Alzheimer's Society, has an elephant costume, and we borrowed that to address the elephant in the room. So I was wandering around Barnet Castle, which is a rural area within County Durham, dressed as an elephant, expecting people to come and have a conversation and ask why I was dressed as an elephant. That was the conversation starter, but actually took 40 minutes for someone to come and approach me because actually it was something that they weren't comfortable with, so they avoided it. There was also a range of like quite negative conversations. I could overhear people walking past making assumptions about a person sat dressed as an elephant in that area. But actually it was really good for when people did start to engage. Local businesses were actually inviting the elephant in to have a conversation about why you dressed as an elephant in Bonnycastle. People were taking photos, sharing it through their social media, and that's why we did it. We wanted to use it as a bit of a hook to say, well, what's with the elephant? What's that all about? Despite having a time to change t-shirt on as well. So it was just a creative, innovative way of getting people to kind of stop and think, well, what's that about? Rather than just preaching to the converted and people who have that interest in mental health.